critically acclaimed Bumblebee movie now several years in the rearview mirror, Transformers Rise of the Beasts has some tough shoes to follow. The titular character in the previous movie returns for the 7th installment of the live-action Universe franchise. So we'll need to see how this rendition of everyone's favorite Transformers underdog holds up as a collectible product. Let's begin. This video was made possible by Yolopark, the Hasbro licensee authorized to produce and distribute the item featured in this video. Please note that while the item was sent free of charge, the comments stated in this video represent my own independent thoughts and opinions. You can visit Yolopark's website and social media outlets by clicking on the links in the description below. This is the third item that I'm reviewing among the ones that Yolopark sent, so I'm curious to see how it looks and feels relative to the standards set by the previously reviewed Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime. The box looks great as expected with Bumblebee front and center. Oddly, despite all the years of this live-action look and appearance, I still have a bit of a hard time thinking of Bumblebee as anything other than the VW bug voiced by Dan Gilvezan in the mid-1980s of the G1 cartoon, but maybe this item can change my mind a little bit. Opening the box up, there's a surprising number of parts inside for what's supposed to be a slightly shorter 16cm tall advanced model kit rather than the usual 20cm standard of the previous two model kits that I reviewed. But I guess it helps for action shots in dioramas as well as if you want to display him being ripped apart by one of the Decepticons. By this point, it's a formality to follow the simple instructions, and it literally only takes several minutes to assemble the item together, even considering that I'm shooting photography and videography at the same time. The head tabs into the upper torso with a ball joint, just like the previous two items that I've reviewed previously. And the arms come together intuitively and tab in tightly, but still allows for the joints to move just fine. You repeat the process for the other arm so that both arms are done, and then both arms tab onto the upper body so that this part of the assembly is now done for Bumblebee. The back wheels and the doors, which serve as wing pieces, just go into his back like this, and then you insert the abdomen, tabbing it in so that it forms the entirety of his upper body, and then you insert the final couple of panels before moving on. The legs go together in a similar fashion to how the arms are assembled, with some panels to close it up and complete the look, and then of course you repeat it for the other leg. Afterwards, both legs tab on, this time from the sides. One leg first, and then the other. And then of course you have Bumblebee assembled here in all his Autobot glory. Like the other kits, he comes with several spare hands, including closed-fisted hands and fully open hands that have the thumbs extended, as well as the other open hands that I put onto the body, of which the thumbs are not extended. When you swap out the hands, you can go with the open palm that has the thumb extended, so it looks like he's signaling someone, and then the closed-fisted hands appear to be for him getting ready to get into a fight with one of the Decepticons. As you look at the figure all around, he's got a ton of detail, which has become standard par for the course when it comes to Yolopark. And like I did with Optimus Prime, here's the action pose that seems to be the norm for heroes these days, a look that just displays nicely on anyone's shelf. And speaking of Optimus, here's a comparison of him with the Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime reviewed previously, and what a great looking pair of bots, as these are pretty much the two leading faces of the Autobots. Here's now them with the similar Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal in the shot as well, and now you've got all three heroes just absolutely looking stunning with all this amazing detail. Honestly, seeing these three all together just gets me excited for the Rise of the Beast film, which is something that I wouldn't have said about a live-action Transformers movie a few years earlier. Here's him with the masterpiece MP21 Takara Bumblebee, and as you can see, he's a fair bit taller. I will point out that with this being in the 16cm height range, or just around 6 to 7 inches in height, this Yolopark Bumblebee won't scale too well with your Studio Series figures, so do bear that in mind if you decide to get this piece. And if you do own any version of the Studio Series Bumblebee that you can compare this Yolopark version to, drop me a line in the comments and state how you feel the Yolopark one looks compared to the one in your collection. Of course, as we know by now, with this being a snap-together model kit, it doesn't transform, and you also don't need to cut any sprues like you would with a standard Gundam model kit. And of course, there's no glue required to hold this together. I'll say this like I did with Optimus Prime though, it would have been nice to include a blaster with him if I'm looking for a drawback. I'll also point out that while this is at a retail price of 239 Hong Kong dollars or just a little over $30 US, the US price will vary depending on who you order from, as in some cases it's actually more like $40 US depending on the retailer, but of course your final landed all-in price in hand comes down to your shipping cost as well, so factor all that in before you purchase this. At this point, I've now reviewed 3 of these model kit action figure-esque items, so I do throw it back to those of you in the comments section. How are you liking these so far? Regardless of how you feel about the live action Transformers films, are these reviews making you consider buying some? So just let me know. I know I didn't go over the articulation too much in this video, so I'll skim over it pretty quickly here as I manipulate his joints a little, but do trust that he does have a full range of motion similar to the other Yolopark model kits, and since I've already gone through it with the other kits, I'm not doing too much of it here, so trust me when I say posability won't be a problem at all for this item. Admittedly, as I've said before, I primarily only look at the 2007 Transformers and 2018 Bumblebee films as my go-to for this franchise of movies, with of course the epic 1986 animated film notwithstanding. But these figures are leveling up my appreciation for these robots, and even if my G1 Bumblebee will always be my favorite representative, I'm glad that this current wave of Transformers is opening things up for a new generation of fans. Be sure to state in the comments section if this review is helpful for you, and on your way out, don't forget to click some of my other Transformers related content right over here. Subscribe if you already haven't, press that like button to spread this video to more viewers, and share it with your friends. Otherwise, let's transform and roll out into the next video. Take care.